I recently created a swatch for every single fabric I have in my collection. I did this partly to help me keep track of what I have, but mostly I just really like playing with fabric. So here's how I did it. First, I cut a sample swatch from each fabric in my massive dragon hoard. Then I measured and cut 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares of cardstock and glued them to my fabric samples. I just used normal cardstock and glue for this. When I fold and store the actual lengths of fabric, I do wrap them around acid-free magazine board. I used to use cardboard, but I've read that its acidity can ruin fabric if stored like this long term. Considering how many years it's going to take me to sew through my stash, preservation and longevity are probably good things to prioritize. But for swatches that are really just functioning as toys for me, I didn't feel the need to use archival grade supplies. So once my swatches were dry, I trimmed up the edges, punched a hole in each corner, and set about the very satisfying task of organizing them. I chose to store them on metal rings rather than in a book or binder because I wanted a way to easily compare them to one another. And I also wanted the option to rearrange my organizational system. I imagine I'll most often keep them sorted by color, but if I want, I can also arrange them by fiber content, print, garment I intend to make with them, so many options here. As part of this project, I also made digital swatches of fabrics I didn't want to cut big squares into, like secondhand tablecloths, bed sheets, and curtains. I don't know that I'll actually consult digital swatches over just looking at my shelves, but it is quite cute. Anyway, this was such a satisfying project. It was a bit uncomfortable at times to confront just how much fabric I have, but it also provided a good opportunity to consider my relationship with sewing and consumerism, which I talk at length about in a long-form YouTube video I made about this project. So check that out if you are interested.